परमा उठाती है। वायुओं कहो कि उनका हर कदम ऑटोमेटिक श्रीमत के इशारे पर ही चलता है। जैसे साइंस की शक्ति द्वारा कई चीजें इशारे से ऑटोमेटिक चलती, चलाना नहीं पड़ता। लेकिन साइंस की शक्ति द्वारा चाहे लाइट द्वारा चाहे वाइब्रेशन द्वारा स्विच ऑन किया और चलता रहता। लेकिन साइंस की शक्ति विनाशी होने के कारण अलग काल के लिए चलती है। अविनाशी पाप की साइलेंस की शक्ति द्वारा इस ब्राह्मण जीवन में सदा और स्वतः ही सहज चलते रहते।
Om Shanti. Welcome to Avyakti Parivar. Today's day 11, Pilgrimage of Silence. My eternal form. Now we will listen to Mohini Didi.
Om Shanti. Happy to see you all in the Avyakti Parivar. I think each one of you must be experiencing a lot of different benefits from this pilgrimage of silence. I think that everyone has different nature. Some like to talk more, some like to think more. But we never thought about silence, right? Some say I'm a silent person because I don't speak too much, right? But not necessarily they don't think too much. But now we learn that pilgrimage of silence is really inner quietness, inner stillness. And even some thoughts come, they can emerge in silence. And a lot of capacities Like when you are listening, by listening, if you can be in silence, you can capture maximum. But if your mind is talking while listening, or your intellect is kind of analyzing, this is not right, should be not like this, shouldn't be like that. No, sometimes intellect is too busy in saying things. So our intellect is not able to absorb what is necessary. So even lot of capacities can increase. One important one is, of course, listening. To listen carefully, and while listening, absorb it. While listening, to imbibe it. Mama used to say, like Murli, even while listening Murli, you can become embodiment same time. So when there is silence of mind and intellect, there's lot of deep concentration. While listening or while doing anything, so you can use this power of silence also to increase your capacities of mind and intellect. Not only that, but soul also feels very, very rested if you can be quiet, if you could be in silence. Silence also brings a lot of clarity in what should I say, what I shouldn't say. But there is a lot of thoughts in the mind, a lot of thoughts in the intellect. So we keep saying that, but it's quite a lot then to sort out, right? When there is silence, then clearly your intellect and mind thinks. So you have a few thoughts, very clear, very practical. But now Baba gives us spiritual stages. That means you find that they are beneficial, they are of service, or they are of cooperation, of harmony. Even a lot of virtues emerge in the silence of mind and intellect. So every day you experience some benefits if you pay attention and notice what you are better at after another day of silence. Lot of time is saved, energy is saved. Thinking takes a lot of time, which we don't realize the time is gone in thinking. And also, I remember in Peaceful Age, whenever they have silence retreat, they say everything gets wind up 1 hour earlier with doing everything. And they feel it's magic. If they had to finish 10, they find kitchen, everything by 9 o'clock is very clean, everything everyone has done. So silence on this in this spiritual life is really, really very important to see things happening in a different way. Now, today we are talking about thinking about eternal self. We always have to add one word with eternal is imperishable. Whatever is eternal, that means has no beginning and no end. So, or whatever is the beginning, so is the end, and then is the beginning, is same. So that eternal stage, anadi, which we call it, that has no beginning, but has a beginning, right? And this is like seed and the tree. What comes first? Seed come from the tree, but tree is from the seed. But still we will say from the seed, tree grows, right? To start with, even if it's eternal. I was thinking everything in this world is eternal, right? And Baba gives the example of moon. So we can say it starts from new moon. So gradually the degrees increases. That means the light increases of the moon. And there is a time, is full moon. How long full moon stays? It does stay. But then gradually then there is decline. And then we call it new moon. Just a slim line of light is left. It's like new moon. And then we say, again, it goes through the cycle and it grows. Same is soul when it begins, it's complete, it's full. 100% purity, 100% love, all the qualities. But when we descend, it's the beginning, we are full. And that's called Sato Pradhan, Golden Age, Heavenly World. Baba makes us full, but then world also, when we are Sato Pradhan, the world is Sato Pradhan. And then gradually as our stage or our degrees of purity reduce, from Sato Pradhan we come to Sato, and then Rajo, then Tamo Pradhan. So from 16 degrees purity, 100%, gradually there is decline. And then we reach to where there is no degree or very minimum. But as Baba said, that soul, even there is minimum light, but it doesn't get extinguished. It never destroys. And that's why it's called, soul is called immortal, imperishable. So everything goes through its cycle, right? Everything, anything. But this within the cycle, there is a beginning and the end, and the beginning and the end. And at Confluence stage, then Baba says, children, this is the point where there will be end and the beginning. And for us to know that we are Confluence age is something very auspicious because we are seeing the end and also the beginning. Right? We are seeing the end, but end will not be just drastic, but gradually we can see the world is becoming Tamo Pradhan, right? There is anger, selfishness, violence, power struggle, right? Greed, jealousies. So Tamo Pradhan, becoming more Tamo Pradhan. And we know that that's the end, climax. And that is where then also new begins. Everything, no? Sunrise, sunset. So knowing that as a soul, I am immortal and eternally, there is purity, there is love, there is peace. But what happens? from 16 degrees. Baba says no degrees are left, but doesn't mean that there is. See, if we didn't had even uh, whatever 0% of purity, but there is purity, and when we listen to knowledge, the soul gets awakened. No, Baba says that because you were pure, 100%, you want to become pure again. And so it was so easy for us, right? As soon as we heard about soul, about purity, we said, yes, that's it. I want to be 100% pure. So it never happens that there is not at all purity. No, soul is pure, but degrees. A lot of Lokik people say, why you all say soul becomes impure? Soul never becomes impure. It does, but it's just like very, very like new moon. Very little light is left now. I would say dim light. Soul's light reduces, reach to very, very low. And then when we have knowledge, purity, love for Baba, remembrance, our light keep increasing until we become 16 degrees full. So knowing yourself in the eternal self gives us this whole thing of what I am becoming. That's what I am actually. But I lost the degrees. Not something new for us, right? It's only we didn't know. And Baba comes and reminds us who we are eternally. And as I said, when there is no beginning, there is no end, but it's a cycle. And which Baba gives, I like the example of moon very much. I was full moon, but degrees kept reducing. Now, from new moon, again, I am becoming full moon. When I heard, I felt so good because I knew deep within that I am pure, but I have acquired all these vices, habits, and sanskars. They are acquired, they're not natural in me, they're not innate within the soul, they are all acquired. But now I have to inculcate purity, love, peace, kindness, generosity, all. But little is there in everyone. So we help the souls to awaken that awareness of eternal self, immortal self, what it was to begin the cycle in golden age, what it is now, and again at confluence age, we become 100%, 16 degrees, completely pure and perfect. So Baba always says, it's not new for you. You have done it many times. You are just repeating it. You began like that and now it's end. Begin it again. So we cannot say moon gets tired. No, it goes very naturally. So we cannot also say we are tired, right? Just have this realization, this is what I was, and this is what I am becoming again. Just remind Baba says not new, something you're doing. So that we are able to enjoy our journey, returning back to our stage of complete purity or claiming our stage of 100% purity again, becoming perfect. So it's not something new. So create that understanding, and that purity brings peace, silence, everything, all the qualities. As our purity is increasing, so are our virtues increasing, light might increasing. And we are lucky to take benefit right now in Confluence age of what we're becoming. Because then we are free from vices, free from suffering, free from sorrows, free from get caught up in bondages, liberated, free. While doing everything, living with everyone, still we are liberated, we are free. Loveful relationship, spiritual relationship, but no bondage of relationship. Relationships are always there, no? In Lokik, but now in spiritual world also. It's a big family, we are big family. So family definitely exists, right? So think about it, go into that experience, and I'm seeing Thai family here. Yeah, generally your class finishes. I don't see you in the end, but I want to say Om Shanti to everyone. The big family there. Must be Sunday morning there, right? Om Shanti, everyone. Yes, lovely to see all of you. It's a gathering of angels here. You all have been so consistent. I think whatever you are giving me the gift of that too. A sharing of gift, no, with each other. So family, I am getting from family, then I am able to share with the family. So thank you for being so consistent. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you very much. So today is Saturday, so we'll be having our chit chat day. So before we do our chit chat, let's get our homework. I'd like to invite our angel, Sister Elizabeth. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Sister Bhumi. And thank you, Sister Mohini. Listening to that sharing of wisdom has made me feel happy, very contented. I really feel the effect that these everyday listening to being in the gathering, all of you angels and with Mohini Didi has made a wonderful shift in the soul. Also, I appreciate listening. So this skill of listening and not analyzing, as Didi was mentioning, to be very receptive. So let's look at the homework with that intention of being receptive and really take this opportunity to absorb not just the words, but the experience of the homework, my eternal form. My eternal home is the land of peace. My eternal form is sweet silence. I, the soul, stabilize my eternal sanskar, my eternal form, and my eternal nature. The cycle is coming to an end, and I have to return to the home of silence. So let us sit comfortably, take a nice deep breath in, let go of the thoughts of the day, and really begin the homework by being receptive to this meditation and melodies as an experiential exercise for the soul. Om Shanti. I, the soul, stabilize in my eternal form. The soul belongs to the Eternal Father and the eternal home. My real form is that which is eternal. The incorporeal form is my eternal form. I dive deep into the experiences of my eternal form. The deeper I go, the more introverted I become. I experience my eternal virtue of bliss, a joy beyond the senses. I would only emerge from this ocean of silence to perform a task and once again return to the ocean of silence. I, the soul, hear the call. I follow your guidance. I journey to silence. Divine peace will never cease. Sweetness will flow the higher I go. I know what is real. This bliss I feel, the silent journey, returning, my sweet home. I am home. I'm in the ocean of peace. Returning home.
Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you so much, Sister Elizabeth. We feel like just keep sitting and listening to this melody songs and just be an experience. Very good. Thank you so much. And just for you all to know that all these special meditation clips, these are the specially made and by Sister Elizabeth, and they all are uploaded into YouTube channel with a different folder, so you can always use them in meditation. Thank you very much. And now it's time for our Vyakti journey. Welcome to our Vyakti journey of Vyakti Parivar Chit, sharing from the heart that touches the heart. So I want to invite our dear brother. Welcome. Welcome, dear brother Eric.
Thank you. Om Shanti, everyone, and special Om Shanti, dearest Mohini Didi. And yes, Elizabeth, thank you for making our heart sing in silence. It's beautiful. Really enjoy those moments. And so today is actually 9/11. I'm sure everyone knows 20 years ago what happened in New York. And I felt that maybe when we invoke Mohini Didi to join me, we can have just a few seconds of extending the beautiful silence we just felt right now and touch the hearts of all the families of those who left the body 20 years ago. And many were saying today how New York has been a beautiful example of resilience for the past 20 years. So maybe we can just invoke Mohini Didi and then have just a few seconds of beautiful and powerful silence for all the souls who have been in that journey for the last 20 years. So, Mohini Didi, good evening.
Good evening.
I hope it's appropriate, but I thought if we are on a pilgrimage of silence, every time that they remember those moments, those very strong moments of the drama, they always say, let's have a minute of silence. So I thought we could have a collective moment of silence also together. I was thinking, reading a few questions that were sent for our chit chat, that you often mention how, the mind and intellect were creating thoughts on the basis of sanskars. So I was wondering, will I continue to have thoughts based on sanskars? But if my sanskars are not yet perfect, what will happen? Can I bypass my sanskars to stop having thoughts from those sanskars? Or do I need to connect with original sanskars, eternal sanskars, to create thoughts?
Mm-hmm. That's the whole purpose, is to, like when we talk about eternal self and creating that stage so that the thoughts are based on that stage. But also thoughts are, of course, from sanskars, but thoughts are also what through our organs, like what we see, what we hear, then, everything just we take as information. And actually, a lot of thoughts are also based on that. And that is why while listening, while speaking, getting more information, it's always good to stay in soul consciousness, because I find that a lot of thoughts are, I just gave my example that these days I have a lot of sympathy for women in Afghanistan, and I feel that, I feel their cries so much. And I feel that, they could have had their life. And it's not I'm analyzing or deciding on what should have done or not, but I'm just giving example. So what I try to do that I try to take less information. I know now what is there. I have to give Sakash. I have to, we're starting a program at UN will be called Shakti program. I don't know full title, but so I'm just thinking how help the women to invoke that Shakti. And I've been deeply reflecting on that Shakti will help them to protect themselves or able to, play the part, which, like, look at Baba. Baba has using women as the main leaders. And here there are women that they don't have say even for their personal life. Forget about the role in the leadership. So this is coming from outside information, right? And so I'm just saying it. So sometimes you have to notice that, these whatever thoughts are coming, it's from the sanskars, but also from the information from outside world. And those of us are even little bit connected with media. We know little more than some common people might. But then again, I have to create that awareness of my eternal self. And when I'm creating awareness, that is why I'm able to share light and might from there. Can't share light and might from sanskars, right? So thoughts do come internally and from external, but I have to create this like pilgrimage of silence, and it will be through my awareness. Right? So keep increasing my awareness as bodiless, as seed form, as incorporeal, as child of Baba, so different kinds of awareness. And then the thoughts are being coming from awareness. And that will be the thought which will give us power, or those are the thoughts which help us to give light and light.
I was very inspired by like most of us with the, this pilgrimage of remembrance and silence. And I was listening to you, I felt as if my mind had become a kind of vessel, kind of a very special recipient, very sacred and very clean. And I thought, I don't want to have any more, not impure thought, but unnecessary thought, or even sometimes maybe negative in a way. So I decided to put a border like between Canada and USA. So I have a border, and when thoughts come, they have to show passport. And I ask my thoughts, where do you come from? Old sanskars, you cannot come anymore. And then some say, I come from Baba. I say, oh, okay, you can come in. If they say, sometime I have thoughts, and I ask them, where are you coming from? They say, from your golden age at sanskars. I say, okay, you can come in. And I felt if we really become aware of where the thoughts come from, I'm wondering if we can hope that sometimes really thoughts are an expression of my yoga with Baba. Do you feel like that yourself sometimes, or
not sometimes? Most of the time.
Most of the time.
Not all the time, but not all the time. But because one has to fulfill one's own spiritual responsibility, and I find that how many must be receiving what I think. So I always think in a way that if anyone get vibration, or anyone who communicates should get something of sustaining themselves and purifying themselves, or experiencing most elevated state. So I really feel not responsible as burden, but knowing that there are thousands of souls who are connected. And then Baba also reminds us that our every thought, should be for the world benefit, because we are world benefactor. So as you said, when thoughts are coming from awareness, awareness is I am world benefactor. Awareness that I have to sustain Baba's family. Awareness that I have to be example for instrument. When there is awareness, then also very, very powerful, right type of thoughts emerge, and that is why one is thinking pattern, habit, We always intellect, yes, no, it's a habit more. So we come out of that habit and keep creating awareness more and more. And through awareness, whatever comes, we are able to have right thoughts and serve from there those right thoughts.
So maybe you have become a spiritual Wi-Fi. You emit thoughts, and we sometimes connect from the spiritual Wi-Fi.
So we all instruments have to be that.
But some have stronger signal. Yeah, some have stronger signals than others.
Yeah, when we wake up early morning, we turn on our Zoom at 3:30. So I generally up 3:20 or so, and to make sure that Zoom is on so that people can connect. Because there are quite large number in the morning at Amrit Vela, those who connect with Parivar. But then first thought comes is that, there are so many souls worldwide. We all have to connect with Baba. So, it helps in a way to see that way and also, feel that, yes, let's share light, let's share Baba's love. So it's like you share with the whole world, and at least those who are up at that time, or if not morning, for them might be afternoon. But this kind of connection with the whole family, and also those who are seekers, they might also feel awakened by those vibrations. So there is always feeling of serving, self-service and serving others. Important.
So one soul was asking about trying to maintain a state of silence. The feeling was that there was still too many waste thoughts. And in a way, waste thoughts is like noisy. It's like, the opposite of silence. It creates noise. And apparently you were reading a Murli in which Baba was saying that you shouldn't take rest internally or externally. And in that way, you won't have any waste thoughts. So she was wondering if you can explain what Baba means by not taking rest internally or externally so we don't have waste. And she was asking, is there a easy method to remove waste from the mind?
I don't know. Yes, this question I also read, but I didn't connect because, Baba said in one of the Murli recently that your mind should never be tired. That means you should never be tired internally. When you are internally tired, then body will also be tired. If body is tired, you can recover fast by taking rest. So I don't remember actually when I said no rest, but no tiredness, That I still remember from early when Baba said that it was last Sunday, I think, that you should not, internally, you should never be tired. That means you are disheartened or you are disappointed or your expectation not fulfilled. There must be something which is making you tired. And I have this experience once I had to meet about 22 instruments from one country, so one by one. And after about 8, 10, I was very tired. And so I told them, can I take break for 10 minutes and then I can start again? Because those days we used to work like, long hours. And when I rested, a thought came in my mind, why are you tired? Because your expectations are not being fulfilled. So leave expectations, just be loving and meet. And I did it. And after that, another 11, I didn't feel tired because I immediately found what was making me tired. So when Baba said that don't be tired, you have to really see what is the reason of tiredness. Somewhere it could be your own sanskar connecting with some of the information or some of people going through their stages. So once you realize and you remove that and you find that no, there is no tiredness. So I think what I remember is Baba saying don't get tired internally so that externally your body can also cooperate. Not only body, but mind, intellect, they get a little bit tired too. So I think that if we do that, and then of course this, wasteful thoughts is like excessive thoughts, right? you keep thinking back and forth. It did happen, shouldn't have happened, who should have done, not done. I mean, this is the kind of habit, So somewhere we have to say, no, should only think this much. You keep reducing your amount of thoughts. And the time comes when you have few thoughts, but that's one way to stop. But other way is to value your thoughts. Right? When you're spending money, you can spend in a better way for a better task, right? So same is your thoughts. I see thoughts also as my main source of serving. If I have to give Sakash, if I have to connect with Baba, it's all through the thoughts. So how can I, for little things or even big things, even very big situations can be resolved through silence. And little ones also, with Brahma Baba, anyone was in trouble, anyone went through Maya struggles, Baba just gave silence, Sakash. And I think if we use this way of serving the souls, we won't have waste thoughts. Right? And
I enjoyed that.
our expectations will also be fulfilled. When you listen Murli tomorrow morning, you will be surprised. You get all the answers of your question. And
Again.
and again, new tools of how important it is, what our thoughts and our stages. Very powerful, fully. It feels like Murlis of 88 are like scriptures, The scriptures reveal certain things. So tomorrow Murlis really feel very much, when I repeat it simple, but when you are reading, it's very, very high level wisdom, or secrets of a spiritual growth or liberation or whatever you call it. So you have some answers, very powerful tomorrow morning, also in the morning.
I never think of reading Murli on Saturday because I have other programs, but I'm happy to hear every Sunday, of course, answers or complementary answers. I was really enjoying when you shared one night a while ago that a method actually to keep the mind silent also was to use a point of knowledge and to go deep into it. And what I felt in the last few days was whenever there was a thought that was not best, I would just tell my mind, stop, let's take one point of knowledge and go deep into it. And I'm wondering if you feel also sometimes there's knowledge is a doorway to silence. Love for Baba is also a doorway to silence, experiencing the self in its eternal form. So it seems like there are many doors that take us into silence. Is that correct thinking to feel that way? Or?
I think most easy and handy is to just pick up Murli and see the point or the blessing of that morning. And definitely, it's giving something to mind to think. Because mind is thinking, you're giving something to think. But in that thinking, when churning and then experience begins, it's a change, completely. And then, of course, it's silence from wasteful thoughts. That's the easiest way and the best way, which I do very often whenever I don't have waste thoughts, but like there's some issue or something, and I am, kind of finding once anything certainly I find is not necessarily to think, I immediately say, oh, but I haven't done my homework. So let me look at what I have to do. So I pick Murli or read blessing or remind myself of any point. And I go into depth of that, and which is very useful for the self, and but also share with others. But also it completely change of my thoughts from wasteful to useful thoughts.
I find when there's no wasteful thoughts or when the mind is really quiet, you were sharing that the soul goes also beyond sound the other night with Nirvana. And we mentioned a few times the soul is light. And I know for the purpose of explaining, we show posters with golden red light in the soul world and the soul being a point of light. But do you feel there's really a big difference between the light of the soul world and the light of the soul, or is it same light?
No, soul in the soul world or soul world?
Soul world, we show it sometimes golden red light.
Yeah.
And then the soul, we show white light. But really, is there a difference between the light of the soul and the light of the soul world? Is there really color difference, or is it a dimmer, or how does it work?
But, soul also is not white. It also has a, like we always talk about this flame. And in the flame on the top, you can see it's little white and then it changes into golden. And, so it's really kind of, so soul also is not like bright light, white light, but it's also golden, I think sometimes look at the flame, on the top when you see, how it's really very light color. And then as it goes down and down, you see more darker. So golden light is not white light, but in subtle regions it's like silvery kind of. But when we go to incorporeal world, it's gradually, it's like sunrise, some kind of that light emerges in incorporeal. And you cannot go and see there, but I was able to see sometimes from subtle region with up above another light, and that light is incorporeal world. So I think there is not much difference. That's what I could feel, and that's what I have to say.
I like it because when you mentioned that was like the sixth element, I never thought of it. That's you said there are 5 elements, but the sixth one is the light. Mm-hmm. And I thought, so it's the same light, but we have different perception of that light if we are in subtle region looking at the soul or looking at the soul world. Mm-hmm. Maybe one day you should take us to a guided tour.
No, when we say Brahman Lok, Brahm is light. So Lok, and then we say Brahman Lok, that means 5 elements, and above the sky, then this aura begins, and that's the 6th element, and that's the light, element of light. All 5 elements here, and the body. And if soul and 6th element has connection, no? In the sense of body is from 5 elements, but soul is from the 6th element. So when soul comes in the 5 elements, it takes body. And then when it leaves, it goes back to 6th element. But we originally are from there, but we play part here with 5 elements as drama, as body and actors, and all this happens in 5 elements.
What brings you to the soul world the most easily? How do you find yourself easily going up to that experience?
First you have to have thought that originally that's my home. That's where Baba is, and that's where I have to return. So Baba is there. So when you think of yourself as incorporeal, Baba is incorporeal. You immediately connect to the incorporeal world. I am incorporeal soul. Baba is incorporeal. I am light. Baba is light. It takes you to the world of light, incorporeal world. One can experience that.
I think one day you'll take us for a guided tour. We'll ask you to take us to a guided tour of such a region, soul world. And then seniors always come to program using a lift. We have to take the stairs, but seniors come with the lift. So you'll take us to the lift next time.
Yeah. Baba is Trilokinath. No, Baba is the Lord of 3 worlds. So one day we travel with Baba.
Thank you, Mohini Didi. Really enjoyable as usual. And yes, we are continuing on that experience of silence. So I'll keep putting a border on my thoughts and ask them where they come from and see. I'll tell you.
Yeah, it's a good way. Yeah. Okay.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. I forgot totally. They keep saying.
Oh, right. You see, we've become so silent.
It's a sesame.
Great.
It's a sesame seed in toli in brown sugar. Very
so
healthy.
That's the toli to go to the soul world. Sesame seed is direct to soul world.
Yeah.
So maybe if we eat that toli, we'll go straight to soul world.
Yeah, it will help definitely. But how to make you all eat that? But just like Shiv Baba, no, he look at the bowl, he doesn't eat. So you all have become like Baba. You only look at toli, but you don't get to toli. So you give drishti and very nice. It goes in the mouth. It will take you to soul world.
Thank you.
Om Shanti, thank you very much. Yes, also spending few moments with Baba for today's 9/11. Yes, we did 1 hour of yoga also in the beginning. And also now when we do the silence, we'll again remember.
Om Shanti and good night, everyone. And enjoy your pilgrimage of silence. Om Shanti. Good night.